to AM Cleveland. You know, everybody needs a hero, and we have one of our very own. To tell you about it, here's Scott Newell.
Thanks, Kim. That era happens to be the era of comics, you know. Oh, heroes, you know, like, let's see, the Incredible Hulk. What, who? Spider-Man and, gosh, the Fantastic Four and Iron Man. Our next guest created all of those superheroes. Let's welcome the creator of Spider-Man, which I think is his most popular, Stan Lee. Hi, Stan.
How are you, Scott?
Terrific. Well, let's go back to the Incredible Hulk. You created the Incredible Hulk, and of course it was a big character on television. How did you come up with that particular idea? That seems like something that I think must be strange imagination to come up with that.
Well, we've had so many heroes, and we were looking for a new one. And I've always loved the old Boris Karloff movie, Frankenstein. I always really felt the monster was the hero, because he didn't want to hurt anybody, but those nuts with the torches were chasing him around. I felt sorry for him, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have a monster who's a hero? And then I put a little of Jekyll and Hyde into it also. A monster who could change into a normal man back and forth. And that's how the Hulk was born.
And the Hulk translated into television. What were the difficulties? Obviously, you can draw things in a comic that would be very, very difficult to do on television, even with the tremendous special effects there are.
Yeah, exactly.
What were some of the difficulties that were encountered?
Well, for example, in the comic books, we had the Hulk, because he's the strongest living mortal, he had the strongest legs. So that was our logic. He was able to jump over a building, let's say, because of his strong legs. Couldn't do that on television, so they omitted that. But they do have him lift up automobiles and so forth. Another thing, we had the Hulk talk in the comics, but in the television show he didn't, and I think it was a wise decision, because it would have sounded funny for him going, me Hulk, me kill. It would have seemed foolish.
Is it the most popular character you ever had came out of an idea you had about a man being bitten by a radioactive spider? How did that come about?
Well, it's funny. It's easy enough to dream up these heroes. Probably the toughest thing is to figure out how they got their power. Yes. So I decided I wanted a guy, because I was looking for a new power. I figured nobody has a hero who can climb on walls or stick to ceilings. I thought that would be visually attractive. Well, having gotten that idea, how did he become that way? So I had to think about it.
Wait a minute.
Speaking of Spider-Man...
Look at that. There is Spider-Man. Stan, I don't believe I've ever seen Spider-Man take the elevator in any of your comics.
Sometimes he gets a little bit lazy. He takes the easy way out. See, he's not really pursuing any evildoer at the moment. I think he's not. I don't know what he's doing right now.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
he's always happy when there are a lot of girls around.
He had his day not too long ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was able to go out on Halloween and nobody even cared. There's Spider-Man.
Hi, Spidey.
Hey,
glad to see you. Okay, you're looking great. You're on television. I always told you, stick with me and you'll be famous someday.
Well, it's pretty hard not to stick to everything.
You know, Spider-Man did become very, very popular. What do you think was the appeal about this particular character over some of the others you had?
Well, I hate to say that in his presence, but Spider-Man, unlike most heroes, is flawed. He has his faults, his failings. Forgive me, Spidey. He has trouble sometimes making a living. He has problems with his wife. You know, he got married last year. We had a big wedding in Shea Stadium in New York. Remember that, Spidey? Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, you asked me not to I'm sorry, Spidey. At any rate, so he has normal problems like normal people. In fact, under this mask, he probably is a normal person.
I don't know. Why don't we ask him? Spider-Man, come on down here, all right? You should be able to climb right up over the... Oh, look. Welcome.
How you doing?
Right back here. There we are. Yep. This is an interesting outfit here. What's the toughest spot you've ever been in?
Well, let's see. Collapsed under a building under the Hudson River once.
Is that true? How'd you get out of that?
Well, you know, I called upon all my Spidey strength, and I finally lifted it up, and I got out.
That sounds good. You spin a mean tail.
Yeah, not to mention a mean web.
That's right, you do. What are your plans for the rest of the day, Spider-Man? Are you going to save anything here in Cleveland?
Well, hopefully there's not so much crime that they'll need me. Hopefully the local enforcement can handle that.
We certainly hope so, but we're glad you're here anyway.
Great.
You want to go back up there and join Stan, all right, Spider-Man?
Don't you feel more secure?
Oh, absolutely. Don't you feel more secure with Spider-Man here? Stan, as a creator of comics, we noticed that it wasn't too long that Batman's sidekick Robin was killed off.
Yeah.
I'm sure you read about that.
Yeah.
Do you have to do special things to keep up with the times with your comics?
Well, it's not too hard. All I have to do is read the comic books. Oh, to keep up with the times, you say?
Yeah.
Well, killing little sidekicks isn't really keeping up with the times. That's a homicidal instinct that some of our competitors seem to have.
Right.
Now, we do keep up with the times. For instance, in the Spider-Man comic strip, which runs in the newspapers, the next story we're going to have, which will start early next year, is going to deal with the plight of the homeless. But you mustn't, I mean, this is confidential. I hope it'll just
No,
stay
we
within.
won't tell
Okay.
anybody at all. You're here for a special event, Stan. Would you tell us about that?
It's the Mid-Ohio Con, which is for the benefit of the March of Dimes,
Yes.
and it'll be held at Mansfield. I'm like a robot. You wind me up and I say the right thing. But at any rate, it was a very exciting thing. It's for a good cause, so Spidey and I flew out here.
And if you'd like to go out there, we're going to show a couple of telephone numbers where you can call for more information. I thank you for joining us, and Spider-Man, you
great.
keep up the good work. Keep us safe, all right? Stan Lee and
Thanks a
Spider-Man.
lot, Scott. Thank you.
We'll return with more from Beechwood Place, so stick with us, please.